Welcome back to Ego and Empathy, the podcast where we explore the psychology behind human behavior and the subtle ways it shapes our lives. I'm your host, Mandy, and today we're diving into a subject that leaves many people confused, angry, and heartbroken. The narcissist who is never sorry. At first, they might seem capable of remorse. They know the right words, the right expressions, even the right tone of voice. They can mimic sorrow perfectly. But if you look closely, you'll notice something missing. There's no genuine accountability, no emotional shift, no understanding of your pain. For a narcissist, "I'm sorry" isn't an apology. It's a strategy. A way to reset the game, to silence your reaction, to regain control. Their goal is not reconciliation, but domination through emotional balance, making you question whether the harm was ever real. So why can't a narcissist truly feel sorry? It comes down to how they see themselves. For them, the self is not flexible or secure. It's fragile and constantly under threat. Admitting fault feels like annihilation. To say, "I was wrong," would shatter the illusion of superiority that keeps their ego intact. Instead, they rewrite the story. If you're hurt, it's because you're too sensitive. If you confront them, you're being dramatic. If you pull away, you're cold and ungrateful. Every scenario bends back to protect their sense of perfection. Apologies require empathy, and empathy requires vulnerability. But vulnerability feels dangerous to them. So they avoid it by rationalizing, deflecting, or projecting. A narcissist's relationship with guilt is almost non-existent. Where most people feel guilt as a natural emotional signal to repair harm, the narcissist feels it as an intolerable weakness. Instead of processing it, they convert it into anger or blame. They turn outward what most of us turn inward. It's not that they don't understand guilt. They understand it well enough to weaponize it. They'll use your guilt to control you. To make you over-explain, to make you doubt, to make you chase their approval. And when you apologize for things that weren't your fault, you've stepped into their script. That's exactly where they want you. Let's look at what happens during conflict with a narcissist. You try to express how their words or actions hurt you. They immediately shift focus away from the issue. They accuse you of overreacting or twist the timeline until you're the one defending yourself. Soon, you're apologizing just to restore peace. What you might not realize is that every apology you give reinforces their belief that they are above accountability. To them, it's confirmation that you will carry the emotional labor for both of you. That's why so many people describe feeling emotionally drained. As though they're constantly fixing, explaining, forgiving. The narcissist takes and takes, while giving the illusion of progress through empty gestures. You might think, maybe they'll change if I explain it differently. Or maybe they don't understand how much it hurts. But here's the truth, they do understand. Just not in the way you hope. They understand it cognitively, not emotionally. They recognize that you're upset. But instead of empathy, they feel annoyance or amusement. Your emotional reaction is information they can use. If expressing pain gives them leverage, they'll use it. If silence gives them control, they'll choose that. Their behavior is not about misunderstanding. It's about maintaining power. There's a pattern many survivors notice. After a fight, the narcissist might say something that sounds like an apology. "I'm sorry you feel that way. I didn't mean it like that. You're taking it too personally." But none of these statements take responsibility. They redirect attention back to your emotions, not their actions. It's a subtle way of saying, "The problem isn't what I did, it's how you reacted." That's not an apology. That's gaslighting wrapped in polite language. So how do you heal from someone who is never sorry? First, stop waiting for their remorse. It's one of the hardest truths to accept. But closure doesn't come from them, it comes from within you. You can't force empathy into someone who sees it as weakness. You can't extract guilt from someone who refuses to feel it. Instead, focus on reclaiming your emotional reality. You don't need their apology to validate your pain. Your experience is real, even if they never admit it. Second, release the fantasy of justice. The narcissist's life may never collapse the way you wish it would. Their charm and manipulation often protect them from external consequences. But the real freedom comes when you stop needing them to understand. You understand. That's enough. It's also important to remember that the inability to say sorry doesn't make them strong, it makes them fragile. True strength lies in accountability. In being able to face your flaws. To own your impact. To make things right. That's what maturity looks like. The narcissist hides behind arrogance because they can't bear the mirror of truth. When you see that, their power over you begins to dissolve. Their silence stops being mysterious and starts being predictable. Their charm stops feeling magnetic and starts feeling mechanical. What once pulled you and now repels you. That's the shift. That's healing. If you've ever been left waiting for an apology that never came, I want you to hear this. You deserved one. You deserved honesty, empathy, and repair. And the fact that you never received it says everything about them. And nothing about your worth. You can stop waiting now. You can give yourself the closure they never will. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Ego and Empathy. If today's topic resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Healing from narcissistic abuse isn't about revenge. It's about reclaiming peace.